No, it's only Facebook.
Okay.
Right, we are live on Facebook also, so we can start. Good evening, everybody.
Hi, everyone. And the good thing is that there are a lot of people who are asking me now, and mentioning also about few of the uh, what do you say, stories and anecdotes we are sharing in V Talks. So
Hmm.
and we are just glad that we are able to connect. And and I think this entire month was very fascinating for me because I never looked at fear from this many perspectives. And from last session, the first session we talked about, is fear good or bad, where Ratnesh shared a very beautiful thing that let's just see fear as one of the feeling rather than judging it whether it is good or bad. And also when we are looking at fear as a feeling, we are also able to understand that maybe this feeling is trying to convey something. It is there with the
Yeah,
message. And if we are able to decode the message, somewhere somewhere I feel that maybe the connection starts happening. And the second session we talked about how do we help child with fear. So
mm,
there was a confession I did in the last session, just FYI, Ratnesh, that when I used fearful child, I think in the next session I right away realized that I'm tagging a child. And
mm.
then fear becomes like inseparable from the child, wherein the that fear is something which is there today, tomorrow it may not be there. So
Yeah,
I really started looking at the whole fear as child with fear. Tomorrow the child will be without fear also. So yeah, so in that session I think we talked about just accepting first the fear. I think from
mm,
that's where we can, as a parent or as educator, we can begin our journey. And again, not trying to judge what kind of fear it is, whether the fear of a small, like the generally what we say that, oh, the spider is so small, why are you scared of it, and something like that. And after acceptance, last session was with Aditi, a very insightful session in which we talked about how we can help a child to cope with the fear.
mm.
And I think somewhere what came to my understanding, how I looked at it, was that there was a very beautiful thing shared by Aditi, that the moment you start understanding the fear, and of course that is also a choice that the child should make. So the moment you see that the child wants to somehow deal with this fear,
The
then
decode
how
part.
to the
Child wants to
decode.
decode. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, then maybe we can come in a picture, and along with the child we can understand, explore, know more about the fear. Like I still remember, and the people who have just joined, if you have missed the last V Talk, she gave a very beautiful example that the fear of ghost that was there in Aarohi sometime. And you guys thought that let's have a ghost session. And then
Mm,
all of you sat together, and the moment child started saying that what do they think about ghost, what do they feel about it, there was a lot of reflection happening. So children themselves were getting aware of what they are thinking of ghost, because then otherwise it was just a ghost
yeah.
fear, that's it. So that ways, I think understanding or exploring or talking more about the fear was something with which we can begin. And then somewhere I think there was a question on the social fear, like a fear of exam, or a stage fear, or a child who feels not gelling or not talking to people in a crowd kinds. So somebody mentioned that, how would you like to talk about this exam fears and all this fears the child has when they're in school and all that. So then somewhere we came up with fourth session, which is helping children coping up with the societal or social fear. And I also want to mention to everybody that the people, when I spoke to Ratnesh about this social fear, somewhere I was not able to connect with this word social much. But the moment Ratnesh said that, it's more of societal, then, I started relating with those fears, and I started getting an idea that, yeah, the fears which we have because of, from, or due to, whatever you want to say, due to, or whatever, society, I mean, so the fears may be somewhere man-made fears, not natural one.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
Ratnesh, just let's begin with your thought that, yeah, this societal fear, the children you have come across, or what are your observations about
Do you have any problems in life? Few problems?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Do you want me to increase them?
No,
No,
definitely not.
anybody here or anywhere wants their problem to be increased? Yeah, I can increase that very easily, right?
Ah, yeah. And now
Yeah,
I'm
I
understanding
can
from where are you coming.
I can just add a whole lot of fears to your normal life, right? If you have 10, I will make it 30. Just
Yeah,
give
but
me
the
a
auntie will
compliment.
think, how auntie will say.
Yeah, yes, you name it. I'm very good at it. I think all of us are very good at it, right? In the sense we are very we're not even realizing what are we doing, but we are the ones. When I say societal fear, I'm not talking about some society out there like a monstrous animal, but I'm talking about my own concept of me and my life. That is what I call as society. So me, the definition of society is not something out there, but it's me and my idea of my life, right? And I can create as many of these fears, right? The moment I put the word should, right?
Huh.
I have a very nice simple way to increase your problems, Vishruti. I just add should to many things, okay, and
Hmm.
without really any real idea to you why that should.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
should smile in front of adults, let's say, right? Or in front of guests. Now, I have not given you any logic why you should smile,
yeah.
but I've told you you should smile. And Vishruti, you should look good in front of others. And Vishruti, you should stand tall in front of others. And Vishruti,
God,
you should be well dressed in front of others.
you
And I
should
can
say
go
hello
on.
to,
Hello
say
to
bye.
others. So, no, no, add the should. You should say hello. Right? Saying hello is an option. Saying now, the moment I put this beautiful should in front of it, I give
Yeah,
you a fear. Because the moment I put that should, now you're supposed to do it. You have no idea why you should do all this.
yeah.
But I have put a should. I put it like a kind of a sword hanging on top of your head, right? You have to do it, otherwise, go, gone, right?
Mm.
Uh,
Yeah,
and now you are in a fix. Now the only thing that you can do is get scared. Either you get scared of something unknown, as in I don't know why is this a should, but if I don't do it, something bad will fall to me.
yeah,
Or worst case, I'll get mama's scolding to start with, or a pa's scolding, or whoever is telling you that should, right? So
yeah.
the moment we have these so many should, there is a fear,
Absolutely.
right? You should not talk in loud voice. You should not do this. So this nicely gift packed shoulds that come to us, gift wrapped. The fears come gift wrapped beautifully. Okay? You
Yeah,
remove those should, and let's say I say to you, Vishruti, if you could smile at the guests if you want. Now
yeah.
where is the fear? What fear? What this? First of all, there's nothing to fear.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think then right away it becomes part of your choice. So
Yeah.
then you own whatever you are doing, kinds. I guess as a child also, if it's a child, then the child may start owning. If I'm smiling in front of an adult, then
Hmm.
it's out of choice and not out of something which has been, you know, inculcated in my mind as a fear that, you know, if you don't do this, then this will happen. Or I think if and then this just comes very like with this should perfect.
Right. So my friend Rajiv, he's saying on Facebook that it's like you smile a while, and while you smiles, others smiles, and soon there is a mile of smile. Exactly. So the whole point is, when I want to smile, I smile, and if that is coming with me, I know I'm going to spread smiles everywhere. But the moment it comes as should smile, then it comes more like the plastic smile, or worst case, it starts building that thing.
Yeah.
So I'm very clear. I am very clear that if I give should, I give fear. If I good, if I give good, I give choices. Right?
Wow.
Fear is when we don't have a choice. If I tell you, Vishruti, you have to go into this dark room, then is the fear. If I say you don't have to necessarily go into the dark room, you can go into the light room, then will you be fearful? No, you are no more fearful. Why? Because you don't have to go into the dark room, you can go into the light room. So the good always brings choices, but the should are all cleanly, neatly, beautifully manufactured by us. Right?
I can't agree more.
So it's not
I'm
some.
sorry, Ratnesh, but I'm agreeing today. Yeah.
You should agree to me.
Yeah.
So perhaps if we go back to the previous session, and if you say no, 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 but these are important, that's another word that I quite don't like. But anyway, let's say I think this is important. Let's say it is important to smile. Let's say, or whatever. Somebody says something. Let's say I say it's important to get good marks in exams above 80, 93 ke upar. Okay, Vishnuti. So if I say it is important, you should get high marks. You should be a topper. Let's say. So the moment I am putting importance to something without really understanding why something is important, then
Yeah.
it's a failure. Now let's say the child starts understanding that okay, if I get this much marks, then these are some of the options that I get, and I want those options. Let's say I want to get into a particular, let's say, college, or I want to get a particular or whatever. Let's say, I want to get into a particular college, so I want need to get a particular amount of marks, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
then now that's an understanding that to be able to do something, I need to achieve certain things, and
Hmm.
not only there's an understanding, there is also a desire.
Yeah. And yeah, desire. And that is what I was coming to, that I was feeling that it becomes a child's need also.
Yes, it's a child's desire that I also want that, let's say, college. Or let's say, if you're going to give an exam for driving license. Now, I want to drive, right? So I
Hmm.
have
Hmm. Hmm.
want or desire to drive, and which is now I know there is a test, that's a requirement. There's an exam, whatever. This
Hmm.
this person will come and he will tell me to drive this way and that way, and I have to give this. I have to price that. I have to pass that driving test, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know, and I know there is going to be heartbeat and butterflies in my stomach, and I will be nervous. But that is fine,
Yeah.
right? That is part of the whole process because I have a desire, right? It's
Yeah.
like if every desire will create some amount of nervousness. I
Yeah.
think it's a balance beam, right? It has to balance it
Yeah.
out. So if I have to, if as a boy or a girl, I have to go and propose to another boy or a girl, then I have to, the desire will bring in all kinds of butterflies and all kind of nervousness, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I think that's okay. That there's nothing wrong with that. That's the beauty. That's the spice of life. If everything was
Yeah.
plain and vanilla and we could just buy it off, then what's the fun, right?
Yeah.
Then
I
there's no
agree.
fun,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so that much anxiety which anybody will going into a match that I am playing and I want to win, or I want to find a match for myself, as in I want to propose to a girl, or I want to pass a driving license. Till such time, it is a desire. I'm saying the nervousness is part of the game. But the
Yeah.
moment
Yeah.
it is neither my desire nor I've understood, and you keep saying should, then it only converts into fear.
Into
And
the fear. Yeah.
when there's no logic, it just keeps kind of kind of getting layered.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know where what fears are coming from me, because all these shoulds have got layered over me over a period of time, and then I'm not able to differentiate them. And then I just
Absolutely.
think that that's something that I feel. That's it. So then the fear becomes the main thing. And
So true.
interestingly, then I pass the same fear to my children. When I grow older, now I become an,
Hmm.
and then I say, oh, this is inevitable. You have to fear.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You should do this, huh? This
Yeah,
needs to be done this way only.
yeah.
You should come. You should go. Everything is mostly, and I personally have faced this a lot. I mean, I when I look back, because most of the time, the moment I'm say that you should do this, I will ask that, okay, why? And 80% of the times nobody had an answer. They are like, this is how things have been, so you
Yeah,
have to do it. And then I could never understand that, fair enough, things have been like this up till now. Now
yeah.
let's try and understand why it is like that. and
Wow.
and and somewhere, so when you say this, I could relate it so much about even the exam. I want to mention here that I mentioned, I shared with you guys that I have never been, very fascinated with the numbers. Though I was good with studies, I was never
Hmm.
a person who wanted more marks. I was very satisfied with whatever I was getting. And after my 10th, when I got great numbers, I stood 10th in the center and all that. But then after that, I guess when it came to 12th, I was
Hmm.
very clear that I do not want to get more marks because I wanted to focus on my architecture entrance exam.
Hmm.
And I dedicatedly worked so hard for my exam because I knew that I had to score there more. My
Hmm.
12th standard result was something which was little less important.
Yeah.
So automatically, without anybody telling me anything, that, Vishruti, you should do this, I figured out my sir, I figured out my classes, I figured out everything. And then I feel that, the if you then look at my 12th mark sheet, then you will be shocked that, the girl who has scored this in 10th, how come she's there, in 12th. But then
Hmm.
I felt that that was not my need. I mean, the numbers. And
Sure,
right
sure.
away, yes, right away, I think when I figured out that what I really want to do and what is my need, like, let's say minimum percentage which I required, I should be able to manage that much into 12th. So maybe somewhere what I'm understanding is the people who have talked about exam fears, that what if the child have exam fears, then I think we can really look at this should window. How many times this should has been imposed or talked about, that you should get this much of mark. If you are not getting it, then with
Then what?
how.
Then you're not good
Yeah,
enough,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Then how much you want to get, and why do you want to get this much only? Let's say, if according to you, if that number is little less than what you are expecting as a
Yeah,
parent, then I
yeah.
think so yeah, I mean, this should definitely be questioned and discussed more, rather than the way we are right away
Rather than
throwing
the
this.
fear itself.
Yeah.
Rather than the fear itself. Oh,
Yeah.
he's scared. Another very popular one is the so-called stage fear. Now, I don't think there's a better person to talk about stage fear than Vishruti, because she's an RJ. Right? I'm talking to an RJ, right? So now you are the one who is on the stage. You are on the
Yeah.
air day in and day
Yeah.
out. Wow, how do you handle that?
So I want to tell you a secret today here, okay?
Yeah,
And the thing is, a lot of people ask us, like, then how do you talk on radio? They sound so fascinating. How do you talk on stage? You are flawless. And
yeah,
I always say this to everybody, that the way I'm talking to you right now, that's the exact way I talk to radio also. The only difference is that at that time I do not have you in front of me. It's not you, but it's a mic that is in front of me, and if I'm on stage, then that's the audience I have in front of me. But the whole stage fear itself, I was recently discussing this with one of my friend, and she was telling me that, Vishruti, if you see, young children, very young, let's say 3, 4, 5, in a way they do not really care about what are they doing on the stage. They are all just fine, even
absolutely.
if they are forgetting, oh, I forgot, and they'll come back. it's
And they will
it's
just
very.
wander on the stage and just do something.
And they don't even mind keep looking at here and there also for 5 minutes. Maybe it's the audience who can get little impatient, but I'm sure
Yeah,
the
yeah.
children are not.
Which
So
is
so
why,
some,
sorry, I'm interrupting, which is
yeah,
why
yeah,
it is wrongly called as stage fear. It's not the stage fear, it's the audience fear.
yeah,
You're not scared of the stage. You're scared
yeah,
of what the audience will, whatever, say or
yeah,
react or respond or whatever,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
If at all
Perfect.
it is coming from the audience in the sense how I see the audience,
Correct, correct,
not how
correct, correct.
audience see me, how I see the audience.
That's so true. That's so true. Yeah, and I also think that if that's the observation we have, that the younger children are not really scared of going on stage. I mean, they are just so comfortable being themselves. Then the question as a parent, I think all of us should ask ourselves is, then why the older kids, let's say, like, once they are 6, 7, 8, 9, why they
And
start.
20, 30, 40, 50.
Yeah, 20, 30, 40, 50. Yeah, I agree. Why do they start, feeling this fear before going on stage or saying anything on mic? And for
Yeah.
that matter, when we were groomed, or let's say we were introduced through stage and everything in my little, teenage kinds, that time I was always told that when you are going on stage, the only thing you have to have in mind is that the people who are sitting in front of you, they're all stupids.
Mhm, mhm,
And the moment you think like that, automatically your fear will be managed. but
mhm,
but
mhm.
now when I look at the whole thing, from this whole being a parent perspective, I realize that I do not even have to think that they are stupid. I just have to be myself. That's it.
Yeah, yeah,
So the moment I do not have a fear of how the people will feel about what I'm saying, whether they like it or no, whether they will appreciate it or no, it's more about how I feel about what I am saying on stage, maybe.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. It's an if see if I am afraid of the audience, let's say,
hmm,
then I need to invest in understanding why the audience are there and why am I coming on this so-called mic and stage. What is my relationship with the audience? What is
yeah,
the audience expectations? What is
yeah,
my expectations from audience? Okay.
yeah,
And so on. And if I spend, as Aditi was mentioning last time, little time in understanding this relationship with the
yeah,
audience, yeah,
yeah,
and it will take some time. I'm just but saying if we understand this, okay, so who all are there in the audience? What are they expecting? Okay, they're expecting me to sing well. Okay, what if I forget a line? What will they think? Okay, they will think how unprepared I am. Okay, and how do I want to look at that unpreparedness image or whatever
yeah,
remark that they will give, and so on. The more I think about or understand my audience and how I receive them or perceive them, I'm not trying to say that the fear will go away. I'm
yeah.
saying this understanding will bring lot of understanding in me, and lot of understanding in me will make me capable of handling whatever challenges that will come because let's say I'm live on air or whatever live.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So I then I am not with the fear. I am with the understanding. Right?
yeah.
We haven't pushed out the fear at all. We've just kept it on one side and we've said, okay, yes, there is a possibility that the audience will laugh and audience will comment and audience will say, what is this going on? And so on. So whatever is my fear. But we have rather invested more time on understanding what is this audience for, what are they, and so on and so forth. So I'm just taking this one social fear because it's such a popular one as an example. I'm not trying to say this is only true for this fear. Any societal fear, like we were talking about exams or anything that is to do with what has been a construct given to us by other people, right?
Hmm, 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 hmm,
Question that, understand that, go deeper into that, and yeah, that's it. Then I can decide how I want to do it. And even
hmm.
there, if I don't want to go onto stage, let's say I don't want this. That means my want of whatever I will get by interacting with this audience is less, yeah,
Hmm.
as compared to the want of the fear part of it.
True, true, true. Absolutely true.
So it's
Ritesh,
it's the want that really makes the difference. Yeah.
this just somehow brought this question in my mind, which I had sometime back, but then I just forgot about it. Um, there was a child, 3-year-old, who
Mm-hmm.
performed on stage. They were very comfortable, the way whatever they were doing, kinds. But maybe the child forgot something, and the audience laughed. Now,
Mm-hmm.
when the child came back, the child said, "I did not like the way people laughed,"
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know whether the child was saying that. I mean, the child didn't say that to me. That, he said that to the mother, but the mother was sharing that this is what he said, and I was still wondering that why child must have felt that ways, that the people laughed. That was not something I liked.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have any thoughts about this, why children would feel something, or maybe I'm sure that that child is the correct one who can really tell us about this. But
No, it's very easy actually. If you think about it, where did the child get this idea that this laughter is not good? From where did he get this idea?
from
Right?
us.
As such, so everybody says, keep smiling, keep laughing. Now, if the audience are laughing, isn't it good only? No, but this, if you, I'm actually surprised you're saying a 3-year-old, but anyways, whether it's 3 or 13 doesn't matter. The fact is, the child is coming back and saying, I did not like the way people laughed. Now, I would say, aha, interesting. Somewhere he has got this idea that this kind of laughter, there's a kind of laughter here.
Yeah.
This
Yes.
kind of laughter is not good. Now, where did he get this idea from? As in, by meaning where, I don't want to investigate. I want to actually look inside myself. Right?
Hmm.
What subtle messages have I been giving to this child so that the child, over in a life of just whatever, about 1,000 days, 365 into 3 years, has
Yeah.
concluded that this laughter is not appropriate.
Yeah.
Right? Something to think about. In just 1,000 days, he has concluded that a particular kind of laughter is, let's say, a put down or non likable thing.
Yeah.
So we need to
True.
really look into it. And who's giving him that message? It can't be that he was genetically coded that this particular
Yeah.
laughter,
That's
right?
exactly where my curiosity was, that the child is not born with this for sure. And
Yeah.
generally I see a lot of times that even my son, I mean, he will just join the laughter. If he has
Hmm.
done something and people are laughing, he also will start laughing. And then it becomes very it becomes like, okay, fine. But then in this case, when the child felt it, I was little touched with the whole
Yeah.
thing. And yeah,
So
so I
that's something, I'm not saying that's something I will say to the child where you got this from. That's not the
Hmm.
point. The point is that's something for us to look back as
Yeah.
willy nilly, where subtly, overtly, covertly, how we have been giving this message to the child.
Hmm.
Maybe because of our own behavior, maybe because of something else, maybe how we look at each other. Maybe we have been telling somebody else, don't laugh like that, don't laugh like that. Now,
Yeah.
over a period of 3 years, only the child has concluded that nobody should laugh like me like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have been actually more pleasantly surprised, Vishruti, if that child would have come to say, see, Mama, even when I didn't say anything, everybody laughed. Very nice,
Laugh.
na? That to me is the genuine innocence of a 3-year-old who still does not know what laughter is a put down and what laughter is a applause.
Joyful. Yeah.
Joyful.
Correct.
I'm surprised. So I've that in so fast the child has picked this up. So much of conditioning we are passing on
Has
to the child.
already. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we need to really look into ourselves,
Yeah.
and then first we have to decode it within us, and
Yeah.
then we have to see how we over a period of now, if 3 years has taken the child to conclude this, it can't go away in 3 days. It may take some time for child to understand that it actually doesn't matter how the audience are laughing, but it will take its own time. But I would say we would rather work with not creating that. And if we start questioning with ourselves, then I will start thinking, oh, so the next time something happens with me, then I will question, how does that matter? Because
Hmm.
see, if that laughter matters to me, obviously it has gone, the signal has gone to the child.
Yeah.
If I am hurt with that laughter, which
Yeah.
is like a put down, let's say, that means the child also has learned that. And if I
Yeah.
continue to be put down by that, then how can I expect the child now to come out of it?
True.
In fact, the child
So.
might come out of it on his own, but from me, so the child is not getting any help. So I and the
Hmm.
child can now together explore this. How does it
Hmm.
matter? What happens when people laugh? What does it mean to me? Does it mean that when people laugh that I have become less or their expectations are not met? And so on. If their expectations are not met, who has the problem? It's their expectations or me? And so on. I mean, I
Yeah.
have to really decode it. But that's I'm
And
decoding it for myself.
yeah, and I think when you are saying this, a very important thought I feel it has come to just my mind. Important in terms of parents, that we really need to look at. A lot of time I feel that the moment as a parent, I feel, let's say, ashamed, or I feel little less because my child has got little less marks, or because my child has made some blunder on the stage, or whatever. If I feel little less, then
Yeah.
automatically I start conveying that so a lot of time I feel that maybe the children are not in need of marks. Maybe it is the
That
parent, and the moment they see their parents disappointed with them,
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
they have got, I think it just pass it on. So maybe in this case also, the moment parents felt little humiliated or whatever, they felt little when the child made some mistake on the stage.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so maybe somewhere I think that
It's
must.
all got to do with our beliefs.
Yeah,
Societal
correct.
fears or social fears is not about society, not about social
Yeah,
link,
yeah,
not about the child at all. It's all
yeah.
to do with our beliefs. And
So
our beliefs are getting translated into the shoulds and all of those things that we are communicating with our child. And if we inspect and kind of explore and understand our own beliefs, and then we open up, then there is absolutely no problem. In fact, I would say the child will open up very, very fast. But first we have to open up. So the real task lies within us.
within
if if
us.
if the moment I think this is a social or a societal fear, I say my job starts now. It has to something to do with me. I am
Yeah,
communicating this message to the child. The society per se is not communicating.
yeah,
If society is communicating, let's say an advertisement is communicating, let's just take an example, right? Then also I am validating by agreeing to that.
yeah.
When the advertisement comes, I say, why are they saying like that? For example, let's say somebody says fair and lovely, right? And
Hmm.
then I say, okay, I am dark, I am not good enough. And then I have a social fear that, oh, if I go into that gathering, there will be so many people, but I am dark looking, and people will not accept me, and I will not be chosen, and I will not be given the chance, or whatever, let's say. So if now all of this is coming from, if the parents stands up and questions, what stupid as did this, I parent says aloud, let's say, that fair or unfair is nothing to do with color, let's say, right?
Yeah,
If I voice that, then the child is also getting the same message. And when the child is getting the same message, now the child can see it. Oh, mama also thinks, or appa also thinks, or grandfather also thinks, that it doesn't matter. But when it
yeah,
matters so much, कि बेटा क्रीम लगाई क्या, then it
or,
matters so much.
yeah. Also, this is my personal observation that when my son, he had a bath, he came out and somebody mentioned that, oh, now you have become fairer. And
Hmm.
since then, the moment he comes out of the bath, he says, मतलब गुजराती में बोलता है कि देखो હું गोरो गोरो થઈ ગયો ને, मतलब I become fairer no now. And somewhere he doesn't even know right now, what is this fair and dark, and maybe matlab, he hasn't explored it in that ways. But then for me, the idea was that you got clean. Rather than that, when the fairer comes in the picture, things things are different. And from this age, I started thinking, and I started talking to him that, why do you think that you have become fairer? What is the color of your skin? And what happens if you're not fair? What happens if you do not have this skin color? Does anything change inside? He said no. And those kind of talks. But then I realized that if I have continued thinking that it's okay, he has just become like, he that's what he's saying, kinds, then I think it's very core. I mean, maybe from the
And
childhood. Then
yeah, we should, sorry, pausing. Mariam is asking, how can we start a communication about the laughter of the audience when the child is perceiving it's negative? Mariam, exactly how Vishruti was just now giving example of starting a conversation about fairness. How she was asking these questions. If you heard these questions, I forgot the questions, but you almost said 4 5 questions that you will
yeah.
bring to the discussion. So you can start those discussion even with the 2 year old, even with the 3 year old. It is
Hmm.
not about that they don't need to comprehend every single word, they don't
Hmm.
need to articulate it, but the fact that they are seeing and listening that something is being questioned, something
Hmm.
is being discussed, something is being trying to be understood,
Hmm.
that is far more important. So any kind of questions, any kind of lead-ins is good enough, and I think Vishruti just gave a wonderful demo of how we can start.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah. So I think if I can just sum up the whole month, let's say December, if
Just
I have
one
to.
moment. Before that, Mariam has put a follow-up message. So, Mariam, I would personally say it's not about the child. You're still with the child. I would say see how you are communicating in many different ways to the child, because the child is not bound with a classification of laughter, good laughter, bad laughter, put down laughter, encouraging laughter. The child, somewhere we around us and the people, sorry, the people around him have
Yeah,
created this pressure on him, right? So we need to see whether what are we doing it, and we need to first questions within ourselves, right? That do we want to create this fear? Do we want to create these should? Do we want to create these pressures in our children's life? If we ask ourselves this question and then start exploring our beliefs, I'm sure we can create an environment where very soon, in the other environment, the child will start feeling comfortable about, let's say, laughter in this case, or any other example that you want to take. So it's
yeah,
not about the child, it's not about the laughter, it's not about any of those things. It's about what we believe in and what do we want. Do we want that to be a pressure point, or do we don't want to be a pressure point? So
yeah,
it's we who have to decide. Yeah,
yeah.
Vishwati, you were talking about kind of putting it all together.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, in a way, I think when it comes to stage and about this laughter, I think there are millions of things which you will ask your child, and I'm sure that, as I keep telling this to Ratnesh and Aditi both lot of times, that I see miracles in a day. And when I'm saying miracles, it's, for me, that particular moment is like, eye opener. I never
Hmm.
looked at it from that angle, and I don't know from where my child has got that, or any other child has got that. In lot of conversations, I feel that. And I mean, the way the laughter is affecting the child, how the applause is affecting the child. I mean, there are so many ways that you can just explore stage itself with the child. I'm not able to see Mariam's messages on Facebook, but I'm just sharing. Yeah.
Sure,
So
sure. In Hindi, I remember two lines kind of from a poem. So this person is saying, "न जाने कहाँ से खुशबू आई, हमारे घर में दीवारें ही नहीं हैं." So when we haven't closed our minds, we don't know from where the whiff
yeah,
of the fume will come. We do then that's not true. But then we have to remove that, right? If we
yeah.
build so many shoulds and prison, then where will this whiff of fragrance come from?
Yeah, yeah. We don't even have to look it from different windows. We just have to
We
remove the
don't
walls.
absolutely, and we don't even need to wonder where it came from. Like how you were saying, now, wow, where did this come from? We don't have
Yeah,
to. It's just open. And my mind is open when I'm not caught up with these so-called beliefs of society and this and that. When I've opened these everything, then it will come.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I strongly feel that if you can't do anything else, just sit for 15 minutes and ask your child to speak. The moment you start listening, I'm sure that there will be
Absolutely.
so many other thing which will be like, oh my god, okay, oh, this was there like that. Oh, okay. So yeah.
So Akshay is
So
asking, just one moment. This is a very interesting question, and I want to spend a couple of minutes on this. He's saying, is little bit of creating fear good? Example, you should not speed when you while you ride. So Akshay, see, we have a choice. You have a choice. You want to drive people by fear, or you want to drive people by understanding.
understanding. I agree.
Right? It's like I shouldn't jump the signal because police wala will catch me. So now police wala is not there, so let me jump the signal. See, the
Yeah.
moment then you remove the cause of fear, I may even do something very stupid. Why? Because now there is no fear, police wala hi nahi hai. So should we instill the fear of police wala, or should we get the understanding of why signals are there and why I shouldn't jump, or why I should? So you have a choice, Akshay, whether you want to live a life of understanding or fear.
Yeah.
Uh,
Or even if I just extend the same thing, Akshay, then maybe I would say that with the word speed itself, there is so much to explore. I mean, is it
yes,
okay
yes.
if we are having a speed in life? I'm not paying attention to you. You know, I would relate the speed with my day to day work, so many things. I think the moment you start discussing with your child that what happens if there is a speed, and maybe how should we drive, and I don't really know what can be the questions, but I'm sure that if you are thinking about speed in driving, then this speed itself will, it's a very vast subject to discuss
Yeah,
with your child.
the reason people use fear is because it's very convenient. It's
Yeah.
very quick, its long term effect is not the discipline part. Its
Hmm.
long term effect is fearful life.
Yeah.
And to me, if you allow me, the biggest fear that we have put in our children is of education itself, is of life itself. Forget education. We are building a life of fear. Study, otherwise you will not get good marks.
Yeah.
If you don't get good marks, you will not get good life. You will not get
And
good wife.
in
You will not
Hindi, this word आगे जाके क्या करोगे?
आगे
You know,
जाके क्या करोगे
क्या
this
करोगे?
आगे. So we have created not just, forget Akshay talking about speed, we've created a whole life built on a foundation of fear. Everything is done by fear, right? Fear, I should also join tuition. Why? Because others have joined and मैं पीछे रह जाऊंगा. I will be laggard in the class because as compared to others. So everything is driven by fear,
Yeah.
and we are the ones who have created this life, rather than living a life out of my understanding of what I want to do. And in that understanding, I know sometimes I will succeed and sometimes I'll fail and sometimes all kinds of things will happen. It is not that I will always be goody goody. So the choice is really ours. How do we want to build? Um, in fact, I have an article which I said, "Are we in love with fear?" I think most of
Yeah.
us are in love with fear. We love fear so much. We base our life on it. We teach our children that. We drive them with fears. We do everything with fears. We
Right.
feed them with fear. You must have seen that, Vishwati. Feeding them with fear. We say खा लो नहीं तो whatever doggy खा जाएगा और ये ले जाएगा वो ले जाएगा तुम्हारे खाने की प्लेट ले जाएगा वो all
अरे, I
food
am
also with fear.
I am Ratnesh. Let me confess this. I'm thinking about this these days a lot, and maybe I will try a conversation with Vedat also. That somewhere I feel the junk food also. I bring a lot of fear with the junk food. Always, the moment my child is saying that I want to have this, I attach some fear with that, and then somewhere I deep down inside I realize that, oh my God, what am I doing? So I'm being conscious about it, but then the idea is that if you eat this, then this will happen, and then somewhere I feel that even if that is not going to happen with my child, the child will have that fear for the rest of his life, that oh matlab, if I eat this, then this will happen to me kinds. And I think somewhere that should just be, at least we should just be aware, I guess, and then maybe a lot of things.
Bhagishri is saying in Facebook that watching mobile is harmful for your eyes. They may get damaged. So, Bhagishri, before you kind of say this to the child, you must first say to everybody who is watching mobile the whole day.
Even to us right now.
Even to us right now, even to yourself right now. I'm sure you're in front of some device. Right. So if we are only doing it, so are we sure it is? I'm not saying it is good for eyes or bad for eyes. I
Yeah,
don't know for one, right? And I would say yes. So again, I think we will. If I also don't know, let's say I'm Bhagyashri and I also don't know, and the child also does not know, and maybe Vishruti also does not know. So we three will get together and explore and research and read about it, read 10 articles, talk to an ophthalmologist. Have you discussed it with so many? So I'm saying I will get my understanding. What Aditi was talking about last
yeah,
we talked. That is so important. And as we get our understanding, we need not even conclude yes or no, are mobile good or mobile bad, but we are developing our understanding, and then out of that understanding, the child is then doing something.
true, true,
As
true.
much as I am also doing it out of my understanding. So all social society, I would say we are very good at adding to the child's problems. So Vishruti, anytime you need more problems in life, please contact me. I can give you free fears. Right?
Same
Um,
here.
faltu fears, right? They have no use, okay, but they will do wonderful to your life by adding more problems to your life.
Yeah,
So
and
anytime, sorry,
and
yeah,
I just want to add on to this that all the marketing things you see on the social media, on the internet, that your child, uh, teach your child how to speak English, teach your child how to speak Kannada, teach your child how to stand on the stage, teach your child how to do this and that. I think the moment I read that, it is automatically the fear. Oh, what if my child doesn't know this? Oh, what if my child is not able to do this? So the
yeah.
moment I'm promoting something, at the same time I feel that, in a way, I'm creating a kind of fear also. That is what I personally feel as a parent, that the moment I consume this kind of stuff. So at least just be aware. I'm not saying that you have to remove everything from your life, but we have a choice just to be aware that what are we consuming and what is it doing to us, and then what are we passing it on to our children. I think.
So Vishruti, I've worked. My first job was in an ad agency, one of the top ad agencies in the
I know.
country, and
And
oh,
by the way, the people who doesn't know Ratnesh,
no, okay, leave
studying
that,
and all of that
No,
qualification,
we're not talking.
you guys
We're
will
not
go
talking.
crazy if you will know from where he
We are
comes
not
and
talking
what all
about
he
that.
has studied. Yeah, okay, I will not talk about it. I know that you don't like it. Okay.
Yeah, because they are irrelevant. What is really relevant is that all of this advertising
Hmm.
is primarily based on fears. In fact, in our meetings, when we had these meetings, I was obviously too young at that time. I was the lowest, most executive in the organization. So when I am sitting with all these seniors people, what are they talking about? Which fear is this based on? Because everybody in advertising knows that if there is no underlying fear, where is the motivation? And if there's no motivation, who will buy my product? You
Yeah.
can talk endlessly about how my product will make your hair silky. Vishruti, I can talk to you about a year and you will still not buy it. But the moment I bring in the fear that if your hair is not silky, you will not look beautiful, the boy will not look at you, the prospective mother in law will not look at you. The moment I bring fear, I bring action,
Yeah.
right? You will go and now grab my brand of whatever hair shampoo or whatever I am selling, right?
I
So the
agree.
underlying message is which fear can we get in, because the moment we get in fear we get a purchase,
Yeah, correct, correct.
right? If
And
there
I
is no
think
fear, why will you purchase something?
absolutely
Unless obviously you need something, that's a different thing.
true.
Where you have a need and my product fulfills the need. You need a broom to wipe your room, and my product is a broom. So then that's okay. That's a different thing. But this, how do we create this need? The whole water in a bottle, right? The whole industry of the water in a bottle is completely created out of fear. The water on the tap will make you ill, Now, Vishruti, I'm saying this. Will you give this water to your child?
No.
No way. There you go. I've got one customer. And by and by, the whole world is drinking water from bottles,
Yeah.
not knowing what are we doing.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
I'm not trying, so I'm just trying to say that how the media, in many different ways, is playing around with it, but that I'm not afraid of. I say let it be. It is up
yeah.
to us. It is the choice that we have. Like you were saying, we have to understand it, and as parents we have to start thinking about it, questioning it, not just taking it
Yeah.
on its face value.
Yeah. And I really want to very strongly mention here, very clearly, to everybody who has joined us or who are watching us, who are going to watch us later, that we are not trying to say that, this is good or this is bad, this is right or this is wrong, and this is not how it should be. You should not look fair, or you should not look dark or nothing. I think the whole point here is, maybe by all of these examples we are trying to say is that, can we be just aware what is influencing us, how are we operating, and which
And can
beliefs
we
are
do
we.
it out of understanding rather than fear? That's the key
Perfect.
thing. Do we want
That's
to live a life? That's what I have put in the Facebook screen. Is it the choice of living out of understanding or fear? That's choice we have, right? That choice we have. We need to
correct.
decide which one we want to go by. Yeah, yeah. In itself, whether you want to be a fair or you want to be dark or whether you want to be whatever, that's
Yeah,
your choice. How does it matter to
yeah,
us?
yeah, absolutely, so true. Yeah, and I think so. So if I just sum it up, the whole December month, the fear itself. Let's begin with the question that, what this fear, whatever fear your child has, is telling you.
Hmm.
And then maybe, first let's just accept the child with that fear as the child is. If I'm just summing it up in one line. I know that it is not a one line task, but I'm just trying to say it in the one line. So let's just accept the child with that fear. It's okay if the child is having that fear. You first be comfortable with that fear, forget about the child. And the moment that acceptance has come, and if you feel that the child has made a choice to address that fear, the child may choose not to address the fear also. The child may stay with the fear and still continue the way. But if the child is choosing to address that fear, then how you can play a role of reflector, or a role of bringing more understanding person kinds. So you can explore and understand. And I think one thing which is a great takeaway from today's we talk for me is the should and the could. So let's replace our shoulds with coulds. Let's just
That,
try. I
that's
mean,
also a choice.
that
Not
is
like
also
you
a choice.
should replace your should with a could. Not like
Yeah.
that.
So you should
You
not. You should not. I'm not trying to say that you should make this choice. You could
could.
make this. Yeah. Okay. That's lovely way to say that. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think, and I think if you can't do anything, it's okay. But just let's start. This is the like tip, a go-to tip for every parent, that just try and use more coulds rather than more shoulds. I think,
Super.
have I covered it, or if I'm missing
Yeah,
out on
yeah.
anything, you can add or suggest.
We can go on and on about this. This is
I
a
know,
vast
yeah,
topic.
yeah.
But I want to say at the end is, to me, fear is like a little light. It's a very positive thing. It's something that helps me to, first of all, this light can help me see myself, understand myself. Where am I? What am I? How am I thinking? What are my beliefs? It's also a light for me to look at the world. What are advertisers saying? What are the audience saying? What are my mother-in-law saying? Prospective mother-in-law saying? What is that girl saying? What is that boy saying? So it's a light for me to see the other world. It's light to see myself, and it's also a light to caution me, right? Because somewhere, if it's an innate fear, it is cautioning me for my own safety.
Yeah,
So in all different ways I look at fear, in any which way I look at any of these three ways I look at it, it is a beautiful light. Let me embrace Let me enjoy the fear and use it. It's a very useful thing. That's why it's there. I say things aren't there without any use. So it's there for us. Let's use it to both look inside, outside, and yeah, to see where not to step. I finally don't want to fall into a hole, right?
So I just wish everybody on this Christmas that you can make a best use of your fear.
Absolutely. Christmas and yeah, let's
The year end
welcome
also.
this. Yeah, let's welcome this new year with fear being a light, not fear being a fright.
Ah, this
Punchline.
is a punchline. Yes, fear being a light, not fear being a
Fright.
fright. Wow, super.
Yeah.
Done.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Ratnesh. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for creating a friendship with fear, and also telling us also how do we create or how do we be friends with our own fears. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for that.
So
Very nice.
I think Vishruti next is on first. So let's skip the next Friday. Sorry, next Thursday is the 31st rather, right? So we'll
No,
skip the next
31st last year.
Thursday. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we will start from 7th. 7 is a lucky number. Let's start on 7th January. Restart 7th January with a new January theme, which Vishruti will tell you all about through her Instagram and Facebook posts, what
Yeah,
theme
even
she has
Aarohi
got.
will tell you. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
but I'm
And
waiting for you to tell me what theme you want for January. So over to you.
done.
Homework is all yours. Either me or
Done.
Aditi will be there to have
Yeah.
this lovely talk with you. Thank you.
Yeah,
And
and I think no, I just want to in the end, I just want to mention whoever is watching or going to watch this video that there are beautiful write-ups and beautiful articles written by Aarohi Life Education, Ratnesh and Aditi. Both of them they have written on fear. I
yeah,
think
many of them.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, so that also can work as a light. So maybe that is there on Instagram page, but if it is not there, then a lot of them are shared on the Facebook page also. So please visit the Facebook page, because I think in Instagram the link most of the time doesn't open or doesn't work. ऐसा कुछ है. So maybe go to Facebook page, and if you still struggle, please message me or please message on
Or just go to
Aarohi's.
the website. In website, there is a section, arohilive.org is the website.
But
And
then
on the
they can
website,
search, right?
yes, you
Also.
just type, even if you just type Arohi Live Fear, then you will get all fearful
Yeah.
articles.
Or fearful.
And even if you go to the website, there is a search bar right there. Just type fear, you will get all the articles and blogs. We have written lots. That's one of our
Lord,
favorite
oh my
topic.
God. जिंदगी निकल जाएगी पढ़ते पढ़ते.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you, Vishruti. Thank you so
Thank you so
much.
much, Ratish. Bye. Bye.
Bye.